Hi, it's Denise. Today we're going to be talking about threading the Happy Japan HCS3. And I think there's quite a few reasons why we look at certain types of embroidery machine or sewing machine. And I think the first thing I always look at is quality because I want a really good quality stitch. And the other thing I look at is the ease of use. So I've always spoken about this because I am such a technophobe. I really don't grasp things easily. Technology doesn't come easy to me. Operating systems don't come easy, so things need to be quite simplistic. But then I want them to be good, I want them to be able to perform and do all these amazing things. So it does come with a level of complexity, but I want to be able to easily grasp it and understand it. And I must admit, the Happy Japan has been the easiest of anything I've ever used. And I think if you see what sewing machine should I buy, the video I did on that one, I think I've had about 8 or 9 sewing machines in the past few years to find the right one. And I've kind of made all the mistakes going. So when I was looking at investing so much money on a commercial machine, I'd already got my brother VR, so I'd got some kind of experience under my belt, and I do enjoy using that. But obviously I wanted the 12 needle, the multi-needle, and it needed to perform in a different way for me. It had to be faster, it's just loads of things. It needed to have a bigger hoop system. Um, and so I was a bit, I put it off for years. I really put it off for years. And I don't know why I put it off for years. I suppose I was happy with the VR at the time. And it would have kept me going. But then circumstances changed on my shoulder, which meant I needed to have a multi-needle. I couldn't keep rethreading the VR every few seconds. So I was forced into making that decision to do it. And I've never regretted it. I love the Happy Japan. It is just the most amazing machine. And I got it from Midwest Machinery. I spoke to Paul. I spoke on the Friday, bought it on the Monday. It was that quick. And I'd watched lots of videos as well on it. And I think putting videos out there is really good. It's a fantastic educational tool. You can see what things are like, even if you can't do a hands-on and touch them. And one thing I don't do is paid promotions. I don't take money. If I don't believe in it, I don't talk about it. And hopefully that gives some peace of mind of how easy this machine is. And you'll see in a minute when I'm threading it how simple. It looks complicated because there's 12 needles, but the 12 needles thread all exactly the same way. And it's actually easier than an overlocker because most of those all thread differently. And it's all very small and compact, and I find an overlocker a nightmare. So I'm hoping this is going to give you peace of mind. So this is a video on threading. We're going to be doing videos on the operating systems and taking you through the menus, and we're going to go back through oiling and maintenance. But I've had the machine 6 months now, and I would love to be able to just embroider morning, noon, and night, and not have to do anything else. But I do have a problem with my shoulder, and I think this also goes to prove that if you do have issues, where you've got a bad shoulder or something, that I've managed to find the easiest ways possible in working my way through things. I can't do much about the tiredness because I'm not sleeping, but the actual being able to manage stuff when I do it, I've tried to make it simplistic as possible. So including putting it at the right height, for ease of being able to move my arms up to it, and also you will need a pair of tweezers. Now I use a very fine pair of tweezers because I find the bigger, longer tweezers a lot bulkier, and I just can't use them. I find them too cumbersome. So a really fine pair of tweezers is what you need. You probably won't need to rethread your machine very often at all. I did on Saturday, which has prompted this video because it suddenly made me realize it's like, well, I don't do this very often, and how difficult can it be? And it wasn't. But this, you need to see this so that you can see for yourself as well how easy it is. And it didn't take me very long at all to be able to thread it up. And generally, if you change the colour of thread, you will cut it where the bobbin is, where the spool is, sorry, and you'll tie a knot, and you'll just pull it through at the bottom until it comes through. I tried that Saturday, but I didn't tie tight enough, and it all undid halfway through, and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to start from scratch, here we go. And I just, yeah, but it was so simple. So this is the video to actually say, if you're looking for an embroidery machine, you've looked at the Happy Japan, you were not sure about the ease of threading, this is going to absolutely change your mind and realise it's wonderful and you've got no worries whatsoever. So let's get diving into it, and yeah, and I hope you enjoy. Also, could I say, I have loads of people that watch my videos, but 80% don't subscribe. So we are going to be doing other videos on digitising and on the Happy Japan. So if you would, please subscribe, and it helps, obviously, let me know I'm on the right track. Yeah, and leave your comments below and I'll answer them. So yeah, anyway, let's get diving in. So firstly, the machine's at a really nice height. I don't need to raise my shoulder. It's on a very sturdy table, but it's at a lovely height that I can actually work on it without having to raise my arm up in the air, which is brilliant for me. So that's my first thing. Anybody with a shoulder problem, you might find that useful too. And what I've done is I've cut the green thread, and we're actually going to pretend that we have tried to attach a new cone, and the knot has come undone as we've pulled it through, which is the most likely scenario, which is what happened to me. And I'm just going to pull this green thread through from the bottom, because you always pull through from the bottom. Yeah, there it goes. And it's like, oh no, my thread's come undone. Words to that effect when it happens. So this is how easy it is. Now my tweezers are you going to be able to see this? Can you see how fine those tweezers are? And they're the usual, just normal beauty tweezers. The reason for that is you can get some really long-handled ones. I find they're really cumbersome and I can't cope with them. So it's what you are happy coping with and you use. For me, it's these, not the other ones. Right, so the first thing we need to do is, I'll move the camera, is at the top you will see there are lots of loops which the threads go through. So that's your thread path. And you also have to keep checking to make sure that none of them are actually twisted onto each other. So I need to tighten that one up. So the green one is this one up here. So we're going to thread this through. Now the camera's in the way. I'm going to have to do this, but say it's not too bad. And we've got it there. Then we bring it through the top. And there's a couple of arms on the top of here where it needs to go through. So you've threaded it through the loop, and on the top bar is this system where it just goes round like that. Really, really easy, nothing complicated. And if I just move this forwards a bit, you see how that's sitting in there. Once you've got your thread over the top, you grab it by the tweezers and stick it under the clip like that. And that one obviously needs to be done as well. And make sure it goes back under the arms at the front. And that's that. So we brought it down from the top bar and we're bringing it down to your first tension guide. So there's a little hole through here which it goes through, and we'll just hold it and grab it. You need to raise that ring. See how that, and it needs to go between there. Right, so if you saw the side shot, you will see that you need to get it under here. But you need to lift this away, and there's a little bar that sticks out and it needs to sit under the bar like that. So you need to get your thread literally go in there, okay, underneath. It needs to sit under there, but it also needs to go on the little bar that sticks out as well. Okay, and then we go down to the next section. So the next section, you come over there, you go round, you make sure it sits inside the grommet. So that's where it has to be sitting when you go down to the next part. So this one, again, has got parts where it needs to sit in between. Right, so when you bring it down, you need it to sit in between these two silver pieces here, these chrome pieces, because they're your tensioners, and you need to make sure it stays in place all the way around. There we go. And as you're doing that, you'll see it moves, so you know you've got it in place, look, because it's moving. There you go, you've caught it right. It's in the middle, it's not underneath, not sitting under there, it's not over there, it's between the middle bits, and therefore it's picking it up and it's moving it. So that's the next section. And the other ones are quite simple. So then you've got the bar, the little hook it goes under, and there's a couple of those on the front. And then what we do is it's under the bar. So I can usually do this. I can pull this down. It goes to the right of that section and up the other side. And then we will put it through the looper and put it down. Now this is a bit like a sewing machine. Might squeak a bit, don't worry about that. And then it goes down through the hole. So then when we get through the bottom, and I need my other glasses. So when we get it through the bottom, we then thread it. I usually at this point pull a decent amount forwards, and I will trim the end with the scissors so it's a nice clean end to be able to thread it. And I haven't got my threading glasses on, but there we go, it's gone straight through. Just to keep it there while I grab hold of it, there we go. And then I pull a larger section because it's just easier to handle. And then what I do is I thread it back down through the, well, I've got the right glasses on. This isn't half as difficult. There you go. Down through the foot and then up, and it stays there. And the reason why I do that is when I'm sewing the first 3 stitches, I want to break that off so it doesn't sew in. It's easier because it's under here. The tensioner pull is against here. It's only a gentle pull, but I find it comes away a lot easier than actually if it's just threaded through the needle. So yeah, and that's it really. That's all there is to it. Once you get the hang of it and you do it, I mean, it's so much easier than an overlocker. So much easier. It's just like threading a sewing machine. It's no different. And all you do is repeat that all the way across the front of the machine. So, because, you know, it's all the same. Nothing's different. How easy can that be? And I love it so much. I would like a whole wall of them. And the company are fantastic. They look after you so well. So pleased with them. They've been amazing. And there's been questions that I've had and I've needed to ring them. And they're just there, you know, they're just really, really helpful. So I hope, and I don't work for them. It's unusual for me to find a company that I'll actually say is good in this day and age, but there we go. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. Please subscribe and join us on our journey through discovering the Happy Japan HSC3 and follow us on our tutorials. Thanks very much. Bye.